Hi Leo, welcome to New Era. My name is Emma. Leo, this is your general reading starting today on the 22nd of April. I call it just a short, short? This is a very short reading. I think I was, it's not short. But it's like for the very near future. I think I confused just the feeling of that. It's like for the very near future. With short, I don't know. It's so interesting because just not too long ago I would have stopped the recording and just started over, but you know, I'm human and I'm gonna keep it in. So we have the today's date number 22, and I'm using the today's date as not as much like just the number, but the frequency of the number. Like everything in the universe carries a unique frequency. And the number 22 carries a very unique frequency because it's a master number. So in itself, it's like a manifestational number. Number 11 is also a master number, which is all about dreams and vision and fantasizing and hoping and like wanting something. And number 22 is all about manifesting that, starting to go after that. Let's make it happen, that sort of vibe. So 22 in that sense is really cool. It's a really yummy vibration that things are coming into manifestation for you right now. Also, number 22 is all about relationships. It's a strong relationship number. So the basis for your entire reading, not specifically today, but just the entire reading, and for the entire period that this reading sort of is significant for some of you guys out there, it has a really cool basis. So I'm going to see specifically what's going on for you, Leo, for the very near future, or a short reading, as we say. Okay. There's already one card. I'm using, what am I using? The Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. And I just want to say it's not a typical tarot reading. It's crazy that I'm doing these tarot readings because I'm not into tarot readings. I just think it's a good venue to reach people, and I use the images to get my own intuition going. Just want to make that clear, just because I got a comment, just one comment the other day that says, if you could read the cards accurately. And I was like, it's not really about reading the cards accurately as it is looking at the images, looking at the photos, and just sparking something or having some sort of answer come through me, rather than this should be read this way. Okay, Leo, for the very near future. The first card out was very fast, but let's see. If you don't like the shuffle, please fast forward. Close. I might just put the deck down and feel which ones to take. Really? Okay, I'm going to use those. So we have Okay, my goodness. So we have strong emphasis on the number 2. So we have 22, the 22nd today, and then we have yet 2 other 2s on the table. So it's like a strong 20. You might see numbers like excuse me, you might see, and what is that called? I don't know. 2222. No, I'm not going to find the word. It's just a strong emphasis on the number 2. So you might see 22, 22, 22. That sort of sequence is what I'm looking for. Thank you. Sequence of numbers. So it's really significant for you. Relationships with conversation and communication right now. The first card out is called mental conflict. I'm not heavily drawn to the mental, and yes, the program reverses the images of the card. Long story short, if I flip it around, which I know how to do, there was a very kind soul that explained exactly in order how to flip it around, and I know how to do that. And it's like, why don't you? And it's just that a whole other bunch of things then gets confused. So I'm keeping it in as it is right now. For the future, you might look better. So with the number 2 here, I feel I'm more drawn to the number 2 rather than mental conflict, but I am drawn to say there's some sort of, we're laying some sort of foundation here now, Leo. There's some sort of, because of all the red here, there's some sort of foundation being laid. So foundation could mean starting a new family life, starting a new business, starting a new, like building a new home, maybe literally building a new home from the ground up, but like finding a new home, having a new, and because this is mental conflict, having a new like mental setting, if that makes sense, like how you think about things, how you perceive things, how you approach things, a new way of looking at things, which is really beneficial for you. So there's sort of a tiny bit set in your ways. It's a tiny bit like you're laying a new foundation, but the foundation sometimes, like the picture of it or the image of it, how it should be, that you think that, okay, so for instance, I'll tell you something from my personal life, and that is I've been on the lookout for a new home for a while, and I was so like dead on about like I want to live in this particular town because I lived there before and I really enjoyed living there, blah blah blah. And I just had this feeling that if I just can get back there, if I could just live there, it's gonna make everything perfect. And now I've been living in a smaller town for a while, and this smaller town with my little boy who's now 2 years old, I come to realize that it's really important for him, and I come to realize that for me too, how much I enjoy the quietness and how much I enjoy nature, and how much my boy really is way happier because he's so sensitive to things, and he's way happier and way calmer. He had trouble eating for a long time, and when we got to this small town, everything has sort of shifted for him. And so I think my being set in my ways a bit too strong in the foundation, let's say, is like, this is how it should be, this is my goal, there's where I'm going to live. Like if the universe is trying to bring you something else and you're with your very clear, like this is how it's going to be, I'm not saying you're going to miss out on things, but I'm also not saying everything's going to be perfect for you, because there is a certain, you might want freedom and you might think that a particular town or a particular family life or a particular way of having things be done is going to bring that perfect freedom or perfect foundation for you. And what I feel around this is that the universe might have the universe might have a different route for you, a different thought about that actually will give you more freedom if you just allow a bit of space for that to show up in. So there's something about like venturing out, like branching out, and this could be for a business, this could be for anything that is like, okay, it was very set in our ways before, and we're building a new foundation. The emphasis here is on building a new foundation with a lot of strength, a lot of newfound self-worth, a lot of newfound self, it's like a self-realization going on, and there's a strength, like there's a trust, faith in yourself. There's a bigger like självförtroende, I would say in Swedish. I don't know where the words are today. you're building yourself up. It feels stronger and stronger. So the solar plexus probably is like, you're feeling it, like you're becoming stronger, and that allows for you to branch out. It's like it allows for you to step into different areas than you thought you were going to step into. It allows for you to see new ways, new paths, new perspectives. So it's a really fun time for you. It's sort of, everything is sort of just opening up right now for you. It feels like on every area, I want to say. There's a blue border which speaks about authenticity. It's like all about your throat chakra. And if you don't speak chakra language, I would say that's all about like speaking your truth. It's about being authentic. It's about putting your foot down. It's about feeling a balance. Like if we're out of balance in our throat with that, oh, and I knew they were the other day, because I didn't know the word at the time, and I looked it up and I already forgot it. There's like a little thingy that really can, in your throat, that really can go sour and south if you're not in balance, and that messes with everything else in the body. And there's a lot of women that has issues with this, which is very interesting. Like there's a lot of women feeling like they can't speak their truth, they can't stand up for themselves, they can't sort of really live their own potential. And then it gets messy with the physical body. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that I'm feeling that or picking that up, that you're in a danger or anything like that. I'm not a physician, I'm not here to give any advice like that. But I'm saying there's a blue border. So around this branching out or finding a new path, finding a new true you, there's a lot to it that, and obviously this is for the Leo men as well. There is something about speaking your truth all the way, just putting your foot down and like, this is how it is. Not becoming a bitch, not becoming, but there's something to it, that there's like, honest, pure. I think you know what I mean. Then we have this gorgeous little guy, spiritual strength. Absolutely adore this card because it's so powerful. Is number 9. If you could see that, it's being reversed. Number 9 for me is all about unconditional love, the uncondition of things. It's also all about ending. So we're stepping out of something and coming into something new, because you can't have an ending without a new beginning. So there's an ending to something. I'm just picturing it. And that was the end. Like, there's the end and we have new beginnings. But lately, the unconditioned has come through so strongly. Like you're not so... And I understand it's very tough on certain people with this virus going on right now. Depending on when you hear this video, this reading, and where the pandemic is, like how it is going in the world, I understand that it's very tough for some people, but it also gives you an opportunity to really practice that it has nothing to do with the outside of what's going on right now. And the unconditional, this is you, it says on the bottom, spiritual strength. So this is you really building yourself up at this moment in time and really understanding the correlation between you and source, like the correlation between your inner being with your innermost intuition, let's call it. And it's like when the bank account is completely full, however that looks like, it's full. So you open your bank account, it says full, lovely, and then you're of course very happy. Probably most people would be, and then you open the bank account the next day and it says empty. And like most people, you probably would be devastated or feel worried or sad or angry or upset. The unconditioned is to not have the condition, like have the bank account mess with your stability, if that makes sense. Mess with your... so the bank account is going to act in this way, and if you're going to sort of react to that every time, you're going to lose it. And that's what most people are doing. Also, people around you, when they are sort of behaving in a really lovely way and they're saying the right things and they're behaving exactly the way you wanted them to behave, then you feel good. And then when they're starting to do something and you're not on board with that, like what are they doing now? They need to go back and do the thing that they did so that I could feel calm or happy or whatever that was. That is so conditional. To ask of somebody else to act in a certain way for you to feel satisfied, that is very conditional living. So and I feel like the opposite, you've come across the opposite, guys. That the opposite is becoming more and more true, and you completely, maybe not completely, I mean, we're working on, it's just that one theme that has us thrown. I keep saying this, like, it feels like I might sound a bit arrogant, but truthfully, and who am I to sit here and do this if I couldn't have some sort of validity? How do you say that? Some sort of, if I wasn't too sure what I was doing, how interesting would it be to listen? Like, you know, it took a while to fill out my own shoes, but I feel like I've done a pretty good job. But every once in a while, when something happens to your child, then it's like, what was the wise part of me again that I had reached? What was that? Like when it becomes something about protecting your child or feeling lost around your child or feeling worried about your child, then it's like, that's gone. So we have those themes for sure, you know, ups and downs, obviously. But overall, Leo, I feel like you've reached this place where you're starting to come in to this very unconditional living. And that, for me, that's the way to live this life. When you don't need a job to feel happy, when you don't need a person or a partner in your life, and when you don't need a person or a partner to behave in the exact way that you want them to behave in your life for you to be happy, when you don't need the financial status of your bank account to say certain things to be happy or live in the perfect place or whatever that is, but you understand that it's a connection between you and your higher self, you and source, you and the universe, whatever you want to call it, like that higher power. When you're in connection there, you don't need anything else. And the paradox is that when you're in that connection, everything you need is being delivered, right? And I feel like you're reaching that point. You're finding that out as we speak. And I think due to this virus, a lot of people gets to practice it. Like, what do I do now if I lost my job? What do I do now when I don't see the money come in? To go into this meditational, to go into this connection and just feel that it's all going to be fine anyway. Because it's in that exact connection that you will bring in more of what you want. And somebody's bringing in all right now. So here's the second number 2. So strong emphasis on number 2, relationships, communication, conversation. And on the bottom it says movement, choices, decisions. This is what I feel. Like there's a lot of things happening for you now. Like it's branching out. You're being given new ideas. You're being given new direktiv, I would say in Swedish. Like new pathways. There's doors opening for you right now. And I mean, there's doors opening all the time, every day, all the time. But there's something about you now being in the vicinity of it that you understand that the doors are being opened, and you're taking the opportunity. You're catching up with the opportunity. And it seems to happen for you in almost every area, but the strongest areas for sure. So we have this yellow here, which is all about the money. And then we have the pink here, which is all about the relationships, the commitment and relationships, romantic type of relationship. And then we have healing, health for your body. And then we have the spiritual path. And they're all linked in here that you don't see. It's all about the creational stuff, the creational side of you, passion, creation. That is like, whether that is sort of not fully shown or fully seen, is that I think that, Leo, that is the one thing that you have down. It's like you don't question that you have talents. You don't question that you have certain, you understand that you have certain passions. And either you're gonna come back to that later, or you're gonna move like you just know that, so that's not the main focus right now. I feel like the main focus right now, which is a lot of focus on a lot of different themes, is money, relationships, health, and your spirituality. And I mean, I guess they're major topics that go so hand in hand, but I'd say if you have this one down, if you just focus on the connection on yourself with this guy, you're going to be good in all the rest of them. It's a red border, which speaks about foundation. So there's a strong foundation, a strong new setting that's being laid right now. It's being laid out. It's being planned and tended to and nurtured, and it's really cool. It's like a brand new beginning. And then we have yet another financial. I'm going to do the rest of the reading in French. Foundation code, what? With the red border, and then a number 3. And number 3 is just what I said about the orange there, which is the sacral energy center. The creativity, the passion, the sexuality, that's number 3. All the much joy, happiness. And then it says recognition and rewards on the bottom. And I feel like this is sort of yes, it could be something, you've been doing something at a job or like at a business place, or wanting to set something into motion and sort of have it like see that grow or see that come into fruition. And that's really beautiful. You could be recognized for that. You could be recognized for your hard work, I was going to say, but hard work is even better. There might be some recognition for that, maybe a raise for however that's going to come about. But I feel for the majority of you Leos, this is like a recognition almost for yourself. Like you're recognizing yourself, and you recognize how far you've come and how much you've for a lack of better words, succeed, like success. There's some sort of success here in your life that you are paying attention to. You're realizing that it's happening. If it's relationship that you're being successful in, if there's business, if there's if whatever is going on, I feel like you're recognizing that you're on a really good path right now. You're figuring it out. You're on the right path. You're moving forward the way you want to move forward. And it's like, I don't see it as you're doing a good job and therefore the universe is rewarding you for it. Like, oh, there she goes, or there he goes, and what a wonderful job they've done. Now we should reward them. It's not like that at all. It's always law of attraction. Always, always, always law of attraction. So whatever you send out is going to come back to you. And that's what's going to, but you probably will experiencing it. You probably will experience it like that right now, that good things are starting to come in. And that's not because you all of a sudden needs a reward or a pat on the back from the heavens. That is like, you sent this out now for a while, and now you're starting to see the skatteåterbäring, as I would say in Swedish, the tax return. You will start to see like what you sent out will start to come back. Okay? Gorgeous. What else for Leo for the very near future? So these two came out first, and then that. Oh, wow. So we have a third number 2 here on the table. So it's such strong emphasis on the 2. So conversation, communication, relationships. That probably is very strong in your life as we speak. And this guy, it says intuition on the bottom. This is like another level. I personally, I adore when we step into this a bit more mystical realm, a bit more magical, a bit more higher level, higher frequency. This is you stepping into something new. I think you're finding out more deeply, like on a deeper level, who you are. You're really reaching for that authentic place, and you're sort of looking in the mirror, only that the mirror is the universe right now, and it's like giving you hope, faith, grace, I want to say, for some reason. There's a feeling, there's like a lock-in, like you're locking in through with the universe. Maybe you're meditating more, maybe you do more yoga, maybe you're like exercising more, and so you get those good endorphins going, and you get that connection to your higher self, to your inner self. Like you feel connected in. You're doing something that is bringing you closer to home, if that makes sense. It's a black border, so it's all about the universe, backing you up. There's something about coming from an old place, and I mean, there's sort of a resemblance with this one, that when there's a tiny bit heavier, like you want to stick with your old ways, like this is how I did it before, or this is the old belief system that I have, or this is what have always turned out before, and maybe you've done it in a certain way before. It's a particular routine or a particular belief system that you carried that now has, I'm not going to say that it didn't serve you, but it's like you've outgrown it and you're moving into something deeper, something more authentic for yourself. It's like the next step. So then it's like a tiny bit here. I mean, I see what's coming out next to these, like the rest of the cards here. So it's something about being, so if you're heavy into religion, or if you're having a belief system that sort of is not really serving you, but it's sort of safe. It's been safe because you've gone down that road before, and so you know what it's like, and you know what you get. So even though it might not serve you for the highest best right now, it might be a bit back and forth until you break free from this old pattern, from this old belief system. Because you're being shown the universe now. You're being shown something brand new, like a magical side to you, and you're being asked to sort of step away from your old belief system that does not serve you anymore. Okay, and here comes number 4, which looks like just, number 4 is all about the heart. It's all about the foundation again. So strong foundation here. This is you like sitting in the forest meditating. It says rest and rejuvenate on the bottom. So it's all about finding that inner peace, finding that inner truth. It's a blue borders. It's that speaking that truth again. Finding that inner peace. And I feel like you're going to find that through just nature walks, sit in meditation, listen to your best music. I know Celine Dion crap that will just bring you down. I'm sorry. But like listen to something that is accordingly to your vibration, your frequency, or something that is upbeat, or something that is like uplifting in nature. You know what I mean? And then we have this card, material and spiritual prosperity, and it's sort of up there with the movement, choices and decisions, recognition and reward. It's sort of the same vibe. You're changing every area right now. You're building a new foundation. Again, red border, a new foundation. Number 6 speaks about the totality of you, which is this. When you're connecting in with your inner self, with your higher self, and you feel this total love of yourself, the connection with your inner self, when you feel balanced, and it's like you're looking out over what you've sown, you're reaping the harvest now, you're eating the fruit, you're looking out over what you created. I'm going to draw more cards in the extended reading, so if this resonates with you, then come to the extended if you want to. It's a link in the description box. If this is where we part ways, then thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back in a week for your love reading. Take care, guys. Bye.